Hi guys, it's Ian again. Thanks for listening. I've got tip number 5 for you today, and tip number 5 is all around about attention span, really, focus and engagement with the driving task. So we're all sort of guilty, really, of being distracted by things around us, and that's absolutely human and normal to do so. But when we drive in a vehicle or using the road as a motorcyclist, cyclist, and pedestrian, really we do need to be paying attention. I think with today's smartphones and other distractions like satellite navigation and billboards and things like that, we have plenty to distract us. However, it's about being self-controlled, really, and ensuring we really focus on the driving task. I'm quite passionate actually about trying to avoid using the radio, and I know some people think that's completely over the top, but remember, it's time and place, really. Where do we use the CD player and the radio? When are we using our full attention on the road? It should be most of the time, and unfortunately it's far too easy to get distracted. In terms of focus and engagement, one of the things we use when we're doing driver training is commentary driving, and I find that extremely useful. Some people struggle to do that because they struggle to verbalise it, and that's absolutely fine. But ultimately, you can still you do that inside your head if necessary. And so we use commentary driving as a tool to really help you refocusing on the driving task. This is also, when we talk about distraction, we're also talking about fatigue, and we're talking about how we control that. So again, things like longer journeys and taking breaks and being engaged and focused on the drive. Hydration is really important, but of course, ideally we don't want to be drinking whilst we're driving, even if it's just water. But because we want to be in control of the car and engage with it. Now, in the news at the moment, or certainly it's been reported, how true it is I'm not sure, but it talks about the level of enforcement in the UK and how little police and enforcement we have for UK roads, and I think it suggested that UK crime rate went up too. On car crime because of it. So I think it's something we need to have a think about, and in terms of enforcement on distraction, but ultimately it's self-responsibility in terms of controlling that, as far as I'm concerned. So trying to remain engaged with it. On a longer journey it can be difficult to do that. But again, we do have breakout areas, in terms of services and things like that to take. So we really should be using those areas to pull over. It's a nice segue, that, really, to talking about service areas. Why can't we make those so much better and cheaper and easier to use? In France and in Europe, there are different types of service area, some of which are just picnic areas with loos and things like that, albeit the loos aren't that nice. But can we make those places better? Can we make those places maybe not so expensive to park for such a length of time, and things like that? Why can't there be more maybe budget hotels where they set out a little bit better, maybe by the roadside and things like that? That's a good way to try and improve our fatigue levels and things. But we can change our fatigue levels ourselves. The more frustrated and angry and upset we get on the road, that's a distraction in its own right, but also adds that extra fatigue. So just trying to keep calm and stress-free behind the wheel as much as we can. One of the tips there really is to leave a bit more space, which fits in with one of the other tips. But yeah, certainly we're talking about trying to engage and focus with the drive as being our top tip today. Thanks for listening, guys. There's more tips on the way. Again, please comment if you agree, disagree, or have any suggestions below. Also, please subscribe. We'll be with you again shortly. As I've probably said before, I've got a book coming out soon, hopefully in the new year, so I'm very excited about that. Some of the techniques we're talking about today are in the book. We're talking a lot more detail, and we give some fantastic tools to try and help us manage some of this stuff. But anyway, so thanks for listening, and yeah, please subscribe if you can. Thank you. Bye bye.